Havlicek stole the ball. It's all over.
Yes, Havlicek stole the ball, but that's only one of the many exciting moments in the Celtic history. In 1946, Walter Brown started the Boston Celtics. For the first 4 years of their existence, the Celtics lost a lot of ball games, and they lost a lot of money. In 1950, Mr. Brown acquired a new partner, Lou Peary of Providence, Rhode Island, and a new coach, Red Auerbach of Washington, D.C. That started a brand new era for the Boston Celtics, a foundation-building era. From 1950 until the spring of '56, the Celtics were bridesmaids, knocking at the door, but never quite getting it open. However, in 1956, the long years of championship successes began. In the spring of 1957, the Boston Celtics won their first World Championship in a thrill-packed 7-game series with the St. Louis Hawks, which finally ended after 2 overtimes in the Boston Garden. In 1958, however, the Hawks had their measure of revenge as they bounced back to beat the Celtics in 6. In 1959, Boston had an easier time of it, defeating the Lakers, then in Minneapolis, in 4 straight ball games. In 1960, back came the St. Louis Hawks. For 6 games, these two teams battled on even terms in a rough, tough, hard-nosed series. The 7th game was played at the Boston Garden.
2 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in the ball game. On the right, the pass comes out to Russell. Now to Cousy. Cousy moving the ball around on the left, loses it, picks it up. Cousy, a long set, is in and out. The rebound by Russell is good. Red Auerbach has his coat off. Red Auerbach taking off his clothes bit by bit because they're going to heave him in a shower. Pettit now a jump shot on the left. 1:15-97 the score. Auerbach walks out on the floor to get his cigar. Cousy bringing that ball up. Not paying much attention to McCarthy. A bullet pass underneath now to Sam Jones. Sam comes back out with it. Stops and holds the ball. Gives to Ramsey. 1.5 minutes left. Ramsey a jump shot. It's no good. Sam Jones, the rebound is good. 1:17-97 to score. Auerbach is lighting up the cigar. On the right now, Green with the ball. Starts to go through. Ramsey steals it. It's picked up by Russell. Russell coming down the floor. Holds it. Way up in the air. He holds it over his head. On the left now to Cousy. The crowd is just up and stampeding. Still over a minute to play. Sam Jones a jumper. No good. The rebound by Ramsey. Brings it back out. 1 minute to go. Boston way out in front by 20. Bullet pass to Sam Jones. Jump shot, no good. Rebound grab by nobody, and Lovellette knocks it out of bounds. 53 seconds left. This crowd is in a standing ovation on the cut out of Ramsey, and Ramsey is fouled. The foul is on Cliff Hagan. A great exhibition of basketball by the Boston Celtics today as they are on the brink of their 2nd straight World Championship, the 3rd in the last 4 years. Casey Jones, who did not play, and Gene Guerrilla, who did not play yet, are coming into the ball game. Frank Ramsey dips and shoots. It's no good. The rebound by Pettit. Pettit down court on the left now. He goes over to McCarthy. He drives and shoots. It's good. 1:17-99 the score, and the Celtics want timeout. They want Guerrilla and Casey Jones to get in the ball game. Timeout has been called out there. Al Cousy is coming out of the ball game. This ovation is for Cousy, and I think for Russell. Al, one of the real, truly great exhibitions of basketball. They gave him a lesson.
Never saw anything like this. Cousy's crying over on the bench right now. Everybody's standing around. Everybody in the place is standing up and cheering. Cousy and Russell have just come out. It's tremendous, John. I never saw anything like it in all my life. He got 19 points. Red Auerbach is gradually taking his clothes off because they told him they're going to throw him in a shower. Everybody in the place is yelling and screaming. They deserve it, John. They're the greatest basketball team that was ever assembled. They are absolutely and positively great.
Well, Al, you summed it up beautifully because that's the story. This is the greatest group of basketball players ever put together. Cousy is over on the bench. He is weeping out of pure elation and relief. And Russell is over there with him. Coos, head down on the bench, is crying out of sheer joy and relief. He had a disappointing playoff series up to the middle of this one. Gene Guerrilla drops the pass. He's surrounded, but he gets rid of it over to Casey. Casey underneath now to Sam Jones, who lays it in. 119-99. Boston out in front by 20 with 33 seconds left to go. In the pivot, it goes to Clyde Lavella. The turnaround jumper by Clyde is good. 119-101. And Casey Jones is fouled in the backcourt by Cy Green. Clyde Lavella has just gone over to congratulate Tom Heinsohn, even though the ball game isn't over yet. 25 seconds left to go. Oh, they put on a show today. Casey Jones for two. He shoots the first one. It's no good. All right, he'll get another. And the second one is good. 120-101. Boston out in front by 19. Into the forecourt, Cy Green. Holds the ball on the left now to Pettit. Pettit being guarded by Gene Guerrilla. Back out deep to McCarthy. McCarthy takes the jump shot. It's good. 120-103. 12 seconds left. Heinsohn bringing the ball up. Comes all the way through. Gives to Guerrilla, who drives. No good. The rebound by Guerrilla, no good. The rebound 4-4 going in the corner. Sam Jones gets it. Back underneath to Guerrilla. Back out to Heinsohn. Lays it up and in. 122-103. And the buzzer goes off. It's all over. The Boston Celtics are once again the world champions. And Tom Heinsohn runs over to Cliff Hagan and Bob Pettit and congratulates them for a good effort. The crowd is out on the floor. They're mobbing Bob Cousy out in the middle of the floor, and they've raised him up on their shoulders. They are lifting Bob Cousy up high and carrying him all around the floor. They're carrying him off to the left, and I don't think there's any room to get through to the Celtic dressing room to the left. They're just carrying him to the Celtic dressing room. Bob Cousy, who played a spectacular ball game today. Red Auerbach, who's half undressed, is going to have to appear on national television. What a costume that is. With the cigar, tie open, no coat on.
I don't know, the first thing that Cousy did as soon as the horn went off, he ran out and he grabbed the hold of McCarthy and he shook his hand. What a gesture. I mean, they've been fighting tooth and nails for 7 ball games, and the first thing he thought about was running out and shaking McCarthy's hand. What a ball player, John.
A great ball player and a great human being. The whole Boston Celtic team is going to be on TV right after this. But right now, the final score, Boston 122 and St. Louis 103.
Thus, the Celtics won another world championship. They did it again against the Hawks in 1961. In '62, they beat the Los Angeles Lakers again in a thrill-packed 7-game series which wound up at the Boston Garden. And in 1963, Bob Cousy announced his retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great day, not only for Bob and his family, but for those of us who have been pretty close to him over the years. I know I have certainly felt it a tremendous privilege just to merely be associated with this fella in any small way. But there are a few men who have been associated with him in a big way, in a very close fashion. And one of them who not only feels a deep affection for him as a basketball player, but as a longtime friend, Coach Red Auerbach.
Thank you very much, John, Mr. and Mrs. Cousy, Missy. I have here citation, which I will read first from. It's directed to Dear Bob. Your record is an eloquent testimonial to your abilities as a basketball player, and I will not attempt to improve upon it here. The game bears the indelible stamp of your rare skills and competitive daring, and it will serve as a living reminder of your long and illustrious career so long as it is played. I know you will set the same high standards as a coach that you have set as a player. Your recognition of the heavy responsibilities which go with unusual honor and fame has been amply demonstrated by your efforts on behalf of unfortunate and underprivileged children. It is a pleasure for me to join with the sports world in this tribute to you. Sincerely, John F. Kennedy, President of the United States. Well, that was from the President, but I've got something to say, too. I know you people here are here to honor Bob and are sorry to see him go. Well, how do you think I feel? All I've heard recently is how you're going to replace Bob. That's my answer. It can't be done. I'm so happy for him this day. He deserves everything. I mean, there's nothing really I could say. Anything the Celtics, myself, can do for him later on, I know he'll help us along. It's just one of these things. And I just want to thank all you people for coming out here, because that's Mr. Basketball. Thank you very much.
Emotional scene here as Red Auerbach, Bob Cousy embracing one another, and Red wiping his eyes, the tears to Red Auerbach's eyes and to Bob Cousy's eyes also.
Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments you will see the final gift. A committee was formed and headed by a gentleman by the name of Ray Ty. This committee worked hard and they did a wonderful job. Mr. Ty is about to come out here on the floor. He will be accompanied by a guy who has sweated out the darkest moments, enjoyed the brightest moments of basketball, and most of all, I know, has enjoyed Bob Cousy over the years. The president of the Boston Celtics, Walter Brown, and Ray Ty.
Just have two words to say on behalf of all your friends and all your fans everywhere, Bob. Good luck and God bless you. And may you have many, many years of smooth sailing with this beautiful car. And I'll now turn the mic over to your number one fan.
Ray really left me all alone here. Bob, I apologize for the fact that we were unable, because of the fact we have a hockey game at 7:30 tonight, we couldn't knock the building apart to drive that car out on the floor so everybody could see it, but it's out in the lobby. Ladies and gentlemen, if you feel, or rather if you have a sinking feeling in your stomach, and if Red does, you can imagine how I feel. I'm the guy that didn't want Bob Cousy. What a genius. You know, it's great to hear about how the Celtics have finished the overall winner for 7 consecutive years, and how they won 5 World Championships and got licked in the finals for a 6th one in 6 years. How they're doing very well. How Bob won all those games for us. How he drove us all insane here one day playing Syracuse in a playoff in 4 or 5 overtimes and finally won it. I got so wrought up I couldn't watch the game any longer. I had to get up and go out. But a side of Bob Cousy that you never heard, well, that is not many of you heard. And I'm going to include my old friend and pal, and actually the first good basketball player I had, even before we had Bob, Ed McCauley. Things always weren't so good with the Celtics. And one year they were so bad I couldn't pay them their playoff money. I didn't pay it to them for nearly a year. Bob never said a word, neither did Ed McCauley or Bob Branham or Bill Sharman or Chuck Cooper, all those great guys we've had. And they permitted the club by this action to exist. And I don't know, it is the greatest tribute ever paid to me, the greatest one I ever hoped to have paid to me. And Bob, for that, I'd like to thank you and all the boys you represent. For 13 years, you've been the Boston Celtics. And boy, they got a lot to live up to. You've certainly done an awful lot for the National Basketball Association because, like Babe Ruth, after the basketball mess in 1919, you came along in 1950, and we've been on the upbeat ever since. And for that, I thank you. I'm not going to try and coax you or tease you to change your mind. We didn't ask you to retire. We hope to the Lord that you never would. But now that you have, good luck to you. You got a wonderful father and mother and a wonderful wife and 2 lovely girls. And I know that Lou Peary and Red joined me and Eddie Powers and all the gang here at the Garden in wishing you nothing but the best in the years to come. And I want to assure you, as Red said, that we're all at your service any way we can help you. I only wish I was about 40 years younger and I'd try and get into BC. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to wind up this wonderful occasion, I give you the greatest, Bob Cousy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you'll allow me to use some prepared notes that I've made this afternoon. Normally, I think this doesn't fit the occasion to in that perhaps it lacks a little sincerity and warmth. However, there are so many important things that I would like to say that I want to make sure that it gets done. You know, in In 17 years since I entered Holy Cross, why I've had the occasion to stand many times in front of an audience, but I'm afraid that the task has never quite been as difficult as it is today. It seems it's difficult to find mere words that seem so inadequate in order to say the things. I hope you'll bear with me for just a few moments. To start, I would like to thank the editors throughout the country for their generous recognition. I think of the awards I've been fortunate enough to receive, none mean quite as much as this one. In thanking the Syracuse Nationals, I would like to say that it has been an honor and a privilege for me to compete against their teams. Throughout the years, they have always personified the type of hustling, determined ball team that I admire most, and I am certain that this is a tribute to their owner, Dan Biasone, and to Alex Hannum, their coach. On behalf of my daughters, whom thank God, as you can see, resemble their mother, I would like to thank the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. You've heard me on many occasions appeal to you for help in combating this dreadful children's disease, and you've always responded very magnificently. I hope you will continue to do so until this terrible menace is conquered. I would like to briefly thank my partners and the youngsters from camp for their thoughtfulness. Working with and teaching these young boys each summer during the past 10 years has given me a great deal of personal pleasure. In this connection, I'm sure the boys will enjoy the H.B. Hood film that they were kind enough to let me have. I would like to express my appreciation to a fine gentleman, Mr. Ned Irish, for his very thoughtful gift, and also to Mayor Collins and Governor Peabody for their gift and participation. In this regard, I can only say that if I had it to do over again, I just couldn't imagine playing anywhere but Boston. I'm afraid that from time to time I've been guilty of occasionally being overcritical of the NBA. In explanation, I would just like to say that it has always been with the thought of possibly improving basketball, which up to now has been my life, and specifically the National Basketball Association, which has given me the vehicle whereby all of us players can display our God-given talents. I can only hope that the league and its Board of Governors realize the spirit in which this was done. Everything I have materially, I owe to this fine organization, and I always will be ready in the future to assist in its progress in any way. As I said, I owe the NBA a great deal, and now with their wonderful gift, I'm even more indebted to it. To all of the Board of Governors, they have my deep appreciation. In Missy's behalf, I would like to acknowledge the gift from the wives of my teammates. Although I know I can't possibly begin to explain, her feelings of esteem, gratitude, and love for these girls. I am certain that in a very real sense, the regard and close ties that they feel for one another has transmitted itself to the team and has played a major role in any success that we have had. In expressing her appreciation, I can only say that they will always be very close to her heart. It's very difficult for me to try and completely express my gratitude to the basketball writers for all they have done for me through the years. Their continued generosity towards me and their coverage has always played a major role in advancing my career. although the impressions I will remember till I die are those of lasting friendships that I feel towards them all. I can honestly say that in 13 years, I don't have one single recollection of friction or difficulty of any kind with any member of the Boston radio, TV, or press. For this and many other kindnesses, I am very, very grateful. I would also like to say a special thank you to Sam for all he's done. I have been asked many times this year what I will miss most about no longer playing.
Yes, Coos, we love you. We did then and we do now. Bob Cousy had retired as a Boston Celtic, but he had one more task to perform, that of playing in the 1963 playoffs. Late in the sixth and what was to become the final game of the World Series against Los Angeles, at Los Angeles, Cousy had to leave the game with a badly sprained ankle. The Lakers chopped the Celtic lead to pieces. Back into the ball game came Cousy with very little time left to add inspirational value to the ball club that then picked up and behind the heroics of Tommy Heinsohn went on to win the World Championship once again.
Cousy comes in and Casey Jones comes out. Ellis will shoot one shot. The shot by Leroy is good. 92-83 to score. Boston's lead is down to 9. Cousy on the left of the key. Cousy comes around to the right of the key. Cousy still driving, skips in on the right sideline, holds the ball. In the pivot now goes to Russell. Russell has to pass off and it's pulled away. And now the ball knocked out of bounds by Frank Ramsey as Baylor tried to get up the floor with it. And Cousy is down and he's hurt. His left ankle. Cousy has fallen down and his left ankle is hurt. Cousy fell down and it doesn't look good, I'll tell you that. I don't know whether he fell down on a wet spot on the floor or what, but all of a sudden he was down out in the mid-court as they were coming back. I did not see him fall. I do not know what the cause of it was, but he is obviously in pain and he's holding that left ankle, and Buddy LaRue is trying to get his hand off it. He can't. He's really hurt. And he's getting a standing ovation from the crowd. They're all standing up for him. They're all standing up for Mr. Basketball. He's hurt and he's being helped off the floor.
And so Bob Cousy came out of the ball game to the standing ovation of the Los Angeles fans. And this in itself was a tribute to the tremendous impression this young man had made on basketball fans everywhere. Later in the ball game, he came back to add his inspiration to the efforts of the Boston Celtics to hang on to their lead and go on to win the championship.
104. Boston's lead is down to 2. A minute and 5 seconds left. Tommy Heinsohn with the ball. Gets the screen, comes back out, holds the ball. A 2-point lead enjoyed by the Celtics, and we're coming all the way to the final gun. Now Cousy's along the baseline. Bottle up out there. Back out to Russell it goes. Russell holds the ball. Over to Sam Jones. A jump shot, Sam is good. And Boston leads 108 to 104.
48 seconds left to go. Jerry West on the right to Dick Barnett. Barnett goes underneath and shoots that ball. It's
Up and good, and he was fouled by Bill Russell.
to 106. And now, Bill Russell committed a foul. And with 43 seconds left to go, Dick Barnett will go to the line. Boston's leading by 2, 108 to 106. All right, Barnett ready. He shoots, and he makes it. And a one-point lead for the Boston Celtics with 41 seconds left. Rapid bringing the ball up the floor. Hands it out to Sam Jones. On the left now, goes over to Heinsohn. Back out to Sam Jones. Sam is coming around. Holds it back over to Cousy. Cousy pops. It's around the rim, and no good. The rebound by Tommy Heinsohn. He tries to shoot, and he gets fouled. A charge. No, if he's fouled, he's fouled. For a minute, we thought they called a charge, but Tom Heinsohn scrambled for the rebound and got it. It's on Gene Wiley as Tom Heinsohn grabbed the ball on the baseline and went up for a layup after the rebound and got fouled by Wiley. 23 seconds left. Big T is on the line. This shoots is good. 109 to 107. Boston leading by 2. Wow. Boy, oh boy, the shot now by Heine is good. 110 to 107. Boston leading by 3. Barnett, he's dangerous. He's on the right. He starts in. He stumbles. He recovers. He shoots it. It's no good. The rebound by Russell, and he gets tied up for a jump ball. It'll be Baylor jumping against Russell, but they figure if they get the ball up in the air, if Russell gets the tip, if they got a couple of big men like Russo and Ellis out there going for the ball, he may get it. The tip comes to Heinsohn. He holds the ball. They take it away from him, and there's going to be a foul called against Los Angeles. Rudy LaRusso, a two-shot backcourt foul. And the Celtic bench erupts with joy. 10 seconds left to go. It's 3 for 2 because they have committed 2 fouls in the last 2 minutes of the ball game. Big T, who has been such a big factor right here in the clutch. The shot is up and good by Heinsohn. 111 to 107. Boston leading by 4. Now the shot is up and no good. He gets the bonus try. 10 seconds left to go in this ball game. Tom Heinsohn up the line. Bouncing the ball. Is he going to make it? He does. 112 to 107. And the Celtics are on the verge of their 5th consecutive world championship. West with the ball out on the right. He takes the jumper. It's no good. The rebound by Baylor is up and good. 1 second left. And Cousy's got the ball. He throws it straight up in the air. It's all over. And there they go. They've won it again. In 6 games, the Boston Celtics win the world title for the 5th consecutive time, for the 6th time in the last 7 years. They have done it again. The world champions for the 5th consecutive time. The final score, Boston 112, Los Angeles 109. And thus ended the playing career of Bob Cousy on a victorious note. A career which many of us will remember fondly, and a career which will serve as an inspiration to young ball players for many years to come.